I stepped out of the taxi with a duffel bag on my shoulder and a small gift bag in my hand. Inside the bag were yellow flowers and a soft baby blanket I had bought at the airport. My heart was beating fast. 8 months overseas felt like 8 years. I stared at the apartment building and whispered, "I'm finally home." The driver leaned out the window. "Good luck, soldier." "Thanks," I said. I walked upstairs and knocked on the door. Footsteps rushed toward me. The door opened. Olivia stood there. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she gasped. "Ethan." She threw her arms around me. "I missed you," she said. "I missed you too," I replied, holding her tightly. But something felt strange. Her hug felt stiff, almost nervous. I pulled back. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," she said quickly. "I'm just overwhelmed." I smiled. "Where's the baby?" She hesitated. Then she stepped aside. "Come in first." I walked inside the apartment I hadn't seen in months. Everything looked the same, except for one thing. Marcus was sitting on the couch. He stood up slowly. "Hey man," he said. I blinked in surprise. "Marcus." He walked over and hugged me. "Welcome home, brother." "What are you doing here?" I asked. He rubbed the back of his neck. "Just helping Olivia out while you were gone." I laughed lightly. "Still playing the hero, huh?" "Someone had to," he replied. Something about his tone felt strange. I tried to ignore it. My eyes moved around the room. "Where's the baby?" I asked again. Olivia swallowed. "In the bedroom." "Can I see them?" She nodded quickly. "Of course." Marcus cleared his throat. "I'll give you two space," he said. I waved my hand. "No, man, stay. You're basically family." Marcus forced a smile, but didn't sit down again. Olivia walked toward the bedroom. "Come with me," she said softly. My heart pounded as I followed her. For months, I had imagined this moment. I whispered, "I can't believe I'm about to meet my kid." Olivia didn't answer. Inside the bedroom, a small crib stood near the window. A tiny baby slept inside. I froze. "Wow," I whispered. Olivia picked the baby up gently and placed the child in my arms. "This is her," she said quietly. I looked down. The baby opened sleepy eyes. My throat tightened. "Hey there," I whispered. My voice shook. "She's beautiful," I said. Olivia nodded. "What's her name?" I asked. She hesitated again. "Emily." I smiled. "Emily Walker." Olivia looked away. I rocked the baby slightly. "Hi, Emily," I whispered. "I'm your dad." From the doorway, Marcus spoke. "Are you sure about that?" The room went silent. I looked up slowly. "What did you say?" Marcus shifted his weight. "I just mean you got back pretty quick." Olivia snapped. "Marcus, stop." I frowned. "Stop what?" Marcus raised his hands. "Relax. It was a joke." "That didn't sound like a joke," I said. Olivia stepped closer to me. "Ethan, ignore him." I stared at Marcus. "Say it again," I said quietly. Marcus forced a laugh. "Man, you're too serious." "Marcus," Olivia warned. He sighed. "Look, I just meant the timing is complicated." My stomach twisted. "What timing?" Olivia's voice trembled. "Ethan, please." I interrupted her. "What timing?" Marcus rubbed his face. "Forget it." "No," I said. "You started this." Olivia grabbed my arm. "Ethan, let's talk later." "Why later?" Marcus muttered. "Because this isn't the best moment." My chest felt tight. "What aren't you telling me?" Olivia shook her head quickly. "Nothing." Marcus laughed softly. "Yeah, nothing." I stared at him. "Marcus." He looked at me. "What?" "Say whatever you're trying to say." He looked at Olivia. She whispered, "Don't." Marcus exhaled slowly. "You've been gone 8 months, Ethan." "I know that." "And the baby is, what, for months old?" My hands went cold. I looked at Olivia. "Olivia." She started crying. "Ethan, listen." Marcus crossed his arms. "I'm just saying the math doesn't look great." My voice dropped. "What are you implying?" Marcus shrugged. "Nothing. Just facts." I stared at Olivia. "Tell him he's wrong." She covered her face. "Olivia." Her shoulders shook. "Tell him," I repeated. Marcus spoke again. "Maybe you should sit down." "Shut up," I snapped. The baby stirred in my arms. I gently rocked her. "Olivia," I said quietly, "look at me." She slowly lowered her hands. Tears covered her cheeks. "Is Marcus lying?" She couldn't answer. My chest felt like it was collapsing. "Olivia," I whispered. She stepped back. I didn't mean for it to happen. The room spun. What does that mean? Marcus muttered. Here we go. I turned toward him. You knew. He shrugged. I mean, my voice rose. You knew, and you didn't tell me? Marcus looked annoyed. It wasn't my place. Olivia cried harder. I was lonely, she said. I stared at her. Lonely? You were gone. I was deployed. I know. Marcus added quietly. Things got complicated. I felt anger rising inside me. What exactly are you saying? Marcus looked directly at me. I'm saying, you might want to get a DNA test. The words hit me like a punch. The baby moved softly in my arms. I looked down at her tiny face. My voice came out barely above a whisper. You're saying she might not be mine. Marcus didn't answer. Olivia sobbed. I'm sorry. I stood there frozen. Everything I imagined for 8 months cracked in one moment. I looked at Olivia. Tell me the truth. She cried harder. I don't know. I felt my heart shatter quietly inside my chest. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of the guest bed, staring at the wall. Marcus's words kept repeating in my head. The math doesn't look great. I whispered to myself, no, that's not possible. I stood up and walked quietly down the hallway. I wanted water. At least that's what I told myself. The apartment was dark, but I heard voices from the kitchen. Olivia's voice. Marcus's voice. I froze before turning the corner. Olivia whispered, you shouldn't have said that. Marcus replied, he was going to figure it out anyway. You made it worse, she said. Worse than what? Marcus asked. The truth. My chest tightened. Olivia sighed. He just got back. And the baby is 4 months old, Marcus said quietly. Stop. You know I'm right. I felt my hand shake. Olivia whispered again, lower your voice. Marcus laughed softly. Relax. He's asleep. I stepped into the kitchen. I'm not asleep. They both jumped. Olivia grabbed the counter. Ethan. Marcus rubbed his face. Man, you scared us. I crossed my arms. What truth were you talking about? Olivia shook her head. Nothing. Marcus added quickly. Just stress. I stared at both of them. Try again. Olivia looked at Marcus. Just go home. Marcus sighed. Maybe that's best. I blocked the doorway. No. Nobody leaves. Marcus frowned. Ethan. Sit down. He hesitated. Sit. I repeated. Marcus sat at the table. Olivia stood frozen beside the sink. I spoke slowly. Start talking. Olivia whispered. You're overreacting. Overreacting. I laughed bitterly. Marcus just said the baby might not be mine. Marcus leaned back. I said the timing was complicated. Same thing. Olivia wiped her eyes. Ethan, please calm down. I am calm, I said. My voice sounded strange, even to me. I looked at Marcus. Did you sleep with Olivia? The room went silent. Marcus raised his hands. Whoa, man. Answer the question. Olivia cried. Stop it. I ignored her. Marcus. He sighed heavily. Look, it's not what you think. That's not an answer. Marcus looked at Olivia again. She shook her head. Marcus muttered, this is a mess. I slammed my hand on the table. Did you sleep with her? Olivia shouted. Ethan. Marcus rubbed his temples. Once, he said quietly. My ears rang. Once. Marcus nodded slowly. It was a mistake. Olivia cried harder. I told him it shouldn't happen, she said. My voice felt empty. When? Marcus answered. A few months ago. Which month? He hesitated. Marcus. December, he said. I closed my eyes. December. I remembered the date clearly. I was still overseas then. I opened my eyes again, and the baby was born in May. Nobody spoke. I whispered, say something. Olivia stepped closer. I thought it was yours. Ow! She looked desperate. The dates were close. Marcus muttered, not that close. Olivia glared at him. Shut up. I laughed quietly. This is insane. Marcus leaned forward. Look, man, you're jumping to conclusions. You just admitted sleeping with my fiancée. It was one time. That's supposed to make it better? Marcus sighed. I'm trying to help. Help? Yeah. Don't destroy your life over assumptions. Olivia nodded quickly. He's right. I stared at her. You're agreeing with him now? She whispered. We need proof. What kind of proof? Marcus answered. A DNA test. The words hit like ice. I shook my head. No. Olivia grabbed my arm. Ethan, listen. No. Marcus said calmly. It's the only way to know. I know enough already. Marcus shrugged. Do you? Olivia whispered. Please just do the test. Why? So we can end this nightmare. I looked at her carefully. If the baby is mine, what then? Her voice cracked. Then everything goes back to normal. I laughed again. Normal? Marcus muttered. Well, as normal as possible. I looked at him. Why are you still here? He shrugged. Because I care about both of you. I stepped closer. Best friends don't sleep with each other's fiancés. Marcus looked down. Fair point. Olivia cried. We said it was a mistake. I asked quietly, did you love him? Her eyes widened. What? Did you love Marcus? No. Marcus shook his head quickly. Absolutely not. I felt my chest tightening again. Then why? Olivia whispered. I was lonely. You keep saying that. It's the truth. Marcus added softly. You were gone a long time. I was serving my country. I know, Marcus said. But life kept moving here. Those words made my stomach turn. I looked at Olivia again. Do you love me? Yes, she said immediately. Then why does this feel like a lie? She had no answer. Marcus stood up slowly. Maybe we should all cool down. Sit back down, I said. He hesitated. I'm serious. Marcus sat again. I spoke quietly. From this moment on, no more lies. Olivia nodded. Okay. Marcus agreed. Fine. I asked one final question. Do either of you know whose baby it is? Olivia covered her mouth. Marcus looked away. That silence felt louder than any answer. I whispered, that's what I thought. My phone suddenly vibrated. I checked the screen. Daniel. My older brother. I answered. Hey. His voice sounded cheerful. You're home. Yeah. How's Olivia? How's the baby? I looked at Marcus and Olivia. Neither of them moved. I said quietly, things are complicated. Daniel paused. What happened? I hesitated. Then I told him everything in a few short sentences. When I finished, he spoke firmly. Ethan. Yeah. Get a DNA test. I don't want to. Too bad. Daniel. Listen to me, he said. You deserve the truth. I closed my eyes. The word truth felt heavy. Daniel added quietly, don't let doubt eat you alive. But already had. 3 weeks passed slower than any time in my life. Every morning, I woke up with the same thought. What if the baby isn't mine? Every night, I told myself the same lie. Everything will be fine. But nothing felt fine. One afternoon, I heard a knock at the apartment door. Olivia looked at me nervously. That might be the mail, she said. I already knew. My chest tightened. I walked to the door slowly. Marcus was sitting on the couch again. He had been around almost every day. I hated that. Open it, Marcus said quietly. I grabbed the envelope from the mailbox. My name was printed on the front. My hand started shaking. Olivia whispered, Ethan, maybe we should sit. I didn't move. Marcus leaned forward. Just read it. I looked at both of them. You seem calm. Marcus shrugged. I just want the truth. I laughed bitterly. Now you care about the truth. Olivia wiped her eyes. Please don't fight. I stared at the envelope. 3 weeks of waiting. 3 weeks of doubt. I slowly opened it. The paper inside felt heavier than it should. Olivia whispered, what does it say? I didn't answer. My eyes scanned the words. Then I saw the line that mattered. Probability of paternity, 0%. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Marcus asked quietly, Ethan. I lowered the paper. She's not mine. The room went silent. Olivia collapsed into a chair. No. Marcus exhaled slowly. Damn. I looked at him. That's all you have to say? He rubbed his face. I didn't want it to be like this. I laughed coldly. You slept with my fiancé. It wasn't planned. Olivia cried harder. I'm sorry. I turned toward her. Don't. She reached for my arm. Please listen to me. Start talking, I said. Her voice shook. It only happened a few times. I froze. A few times? Marcus looked down. Olivia whispered. I didn't mean for it to continue. I felt something break inside my chest. You said once. I lied. Why? Because I was scared. Marcus muttered, this is going badly. I pointed at him. Don't speak. He raised his hands. Okay. I looked at Olivia again. How many times? She cried harder. I don't know, maybe 4. The number felt like a knife. And you never thought to tell me? You were overseas. That's not an answer. I didn't want to lose you. You already did. Marcus stood up. Look, man. I snapped, sit down. He sat again. Olivia whispered, It started after Thanksgiving. I tried to stay calm. Ow! She wiped her face. You remember when Marcus came over to fix the sink? Marcus nodded slowly. We had a few drinks, Olivia said. Marcus added quietly. One thing led to another. I stared at him. That's your explanation? It's the truth, Olivia whispered. I regretted it immediately. Then why did it happen again? She had no answer. Marcus said softly, because we were both lonely. Don't say we, Olivia snapped. You were lonely, Marcus continued. I was just stupid. I laughed bitterly. You were my best friend. Marcus looked ashamed. I know. You stood next to me when I proposed. I remember. You toasted our future. Marcus nodded slowly. I did. And then you slept with her. He whispered yes. Olivia cried again. I never stopped loving you, Ethan. I stared at her. You have a strange way of showing love. She stepped closer. Please don't leave. I need air. Marcus stood again. Maybe you should calm down first. I glared at him. You don't get to give me advice. He looked frustrated. I'm trying to fix this. You can't. Olivia grabbed my arm. What about the baby? I looked toward the bedroom. Emily was sleeping peacefully. My voice dropped. She deserved a father. Olivia whispered. Marcus can. Marcus interrupted quickly. Wait. I looked at him. What? Marcus looked uncomfortable. I'm not sure she's mine either. The words hit me like another punch. What did you say? Olivia looked shocked. Marcus. He shrugged helplessly. You told me you saw someone else too. That was before. Marcus said quietly. Exactly. I shook my head. This is insane. Olivia cried. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Marcus sighed. Look, Ethan, none of us handled this well. That's the understatement of the year. Olivia whispered. Please don't walk away. I felt empty. I trusted both of you. Marcus said softly. I know. No, I said. You don't. The room felt suffocating. Olivia reached for me again. Ethan. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Her hands fell. Marcus spoke quietly. What are you going to do? I picked up my jacket. I'm leaving. For how long? Olivia asked. I don't know. Marcus rubbed his forehead. This is a disaster. I looked at him one last time. You're right about one thing. What? I answered quietly. My old life is over. Olivia's voice cracked. Please don't go. I walked toward the door. Marcus called after me. Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't stop. Olivia cried behind me. Where will you go? I opened the door. Then I said the only truth left in my heart. Anywhere that isn't here. And for the first time since coming home, I finally walked away. I moved into a small apartment across town 2 days after leaving Olivia. The place had white walls, a cheap couch, and silence. Too much silence. The first night Daniel came over with a pizza. He looked around the apartment. This place is depressing, he said. Thanks, I replied. He sat down. You eating? Not really. He pushed the pizza box toward me. Eat anyway. I took a slice. Daniel watched me carefully. So, he said, how are you holding up? I laughed quietly. You really want the answer? Yeah. I feel like my life exploded. Daniel nodded slowly. That sounds about right. I stared at the floor. I keep replaying everything. That's normal. I trusted them. I know. I would have taken a bullet for Marcus. Daniel sighed. People change. No, I said quietly. They just hide who they are. Daniel leaned forward. Have you talked to Olivia? No. She called me. I looked up quickly. What did she say? She said you won't answer her. That's true. She's desperate to talk. Good. Daniel studied my face. You're still angry. Of course I am. Anger won't fix anything. Neither will forgiveness. Daniel shrugged. I didn't say forgive her. Then what are you saying? I'm saying don't destroy yourself because of them. I leaned back. Too late. He shook his head. No, you're still breathing. That's not the same as living. Daniel stood up and walked to the window. You know what Dad used to say? I sighed. Probably something wise. He said pain either builds you or buries you. I rubbed my face. Right now it's burying me. Daniel turned toward me. Then stopped letting it. I didn't answer. A week later my phone rang. I almost ignored it. Then I saw the name. Captain Hayes. I answered. Sir. His voice sounded calm. Walker, good to hear you. Good to hear you too. Daniel watched me from the couch. Hayes asked, how's civilian life treating you? I hesitated. Rough. I heard about the situation. News travels fast. Your brother called me. I looked at Daniel. He shrugged. Hayes continued. You want to talk about it? Not really. Fair enough. He paused. Listen, Walker. I've seen soldiers survive worse than betrayal. Doesn't feel like it. That's because you're still in the middle of it. I leaned against the wall. Feels like my whole future disappeared. Hayes replied firmly. Your future is bigger than one relationship. Easy for you to say. Maybe, but it's still true. Daniel whispered from the couch. He's right. I ignored him. Hayes asked, Are you still training? No. Why not? I haven't felt like it. Then start tomorrow. Sir, that's an order. I laughed slightly. You can't give orders anymore. Watch me. Daniel grinned. Hayes continued, Get back to the gym. Keep your body moving. Your mind will follow. I'll think about it. Don't think. Do. The call ended a few minutes later. Daniel looked satisfied. You're going to the gym tomorrow. We'll see. Not optional, he said. The next morning, he dragged me there. I stood near the weights. This place hasn't changed, I said. Daniel crossed his arms. Neither have you. Feels like I have. He pointed at the barbell. Lift. I'm not in the mood. Lift anyway. I grabbed the bar. The weight felt heavier than usual. Daniel nodded. Good. I kept lifting. For the first time in weeks, my mind went quiet. Later, Daniel smiled. See? See what? You didn't think about Olivia for 10 minutes. He was right. Weeks passed. I kept going to the gym. I started sleeping better. Work became my focus again. But I still avoided everyone connected to my old life. One evening, Daniel called me. His voice sounded strained. Ethan, what's wrong? I'm at the hospital. My chest tightened. What happened? Car accident. Are you okay? Mostly. Just come here. I grabbed my keys immediately. When I reached the hospital, Daniel sat on a bed with a bandage on his arm. You look terrible, I said. He laughed. Thanks. A nurse walked into the room. She carried a clipboard. Her voice sounded calm. Mr. Walker, we need to check your blood pressure again. Daniel rolled his eyes. It's fine. She looked at me. You must be Ethan. I nodded. Yes. She smiled slightly. I'm Lily Carter. Daniel pointed at her. She's been bossing me around all night. Lily crossed her arms. Because you keep trying to leave. I hate hospitals, Daniel said. She turned to me. Can you convince him to stay another hour? I shrugged. You should listen to the nurse. Daniel groaned. Traitor. Lily checked his chart. Then she looked at me again. You look exhausted. I've had a rough few months. Daniel spoke quickly. His fiancée cheated on him with his best friend. Daniel, I snapped. Lily blinked. That's a lot. Tell me about it, I muttered. Daniel added, He's been miserable. Lily studied my face quietly. Then she said something simple. Not everyone lies. I looked at her. What? She shrugged gently. You'll meet honest people again. Daniel smirked. See? Nurse wisdom. I shook my head slightly. You sound very confident. Lily smiled softly. I just believe people deserve a second chance at happiness. I thought about those words. For the first time in months, something inside me felt lighter. Maybe she was right. Maybe my story wasn't finished yet. 6 months passed before Olivia's family entered my life again. By then, my routine felt stable. Work, gym, sleep. No Olivia. No Marcus. One evening, my phone buzzed while I was cooking dinner. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Then I answered. Hello. A quiet voice replied. Ethan, it's Sarah. I froze. Sarah Bennett, Olivia's younger sister. Oh, I said slowly. Hi. She sounded nervous. Can we talk? About what? About Olivia and Marcus. I sighed. I don't think that's a good idea. Please, she said quickly. It's important. I stayed silent. She added softly, I think you deserve the truth. Those words caught my attention. Where are you? I asked. There's a coffee shop on 5th Street. I know it. Can you come? I hesitated. Then I said, Give me 20 minutes. When I arrived, Sarah was already sitting at a small table. She looked nervous. Hi, she said quietly. Hi. I sat across from her. She stared at her coffee. You look different, she said. How? Stronger. I had to be. She nodded slowly. I'm sorry for everything. You didn't do it, I replied. No, but I knew things were wrong. I leaned forward. Then why are you here now? She took a deep breath. Because Olivia won't tell you the whole story. My chest tightened. What story? She looked around the cafe. Then she lowered her voice. Marcus didn't just sleep with Olivia randomly. What do you mean? He pursued her. I frowned. Explain. Sarah clasped her hands. When you deployed, Olivia struggled. I know that part. She missed you a lot. I nodded slowly. Sarah continued. Marcus started visiting more often. To help. That's what he said. What are you saying? He was always around, she said. Fixing things, bringing food, checking on her. That sounded like a friend. At first, I waited. Sarah sighed. Then he started flirting. My jaw tightened. You're sure? I saw it myself. What did Olivia do? She laughed it off at first. And later, Sarah looked uncomfortable. Later she started depending on him. For what? Company. Support. I leaned back. So he moved in slowly. Yes. And she let him. She was lonely, Sarah said. I shook my head. That excuse again. I'm not defending her. Then keep going. Sarah nodded. One night, they argued about you. About me? Yes. What about? Marcus said you cared more about the army than Olivia. My hands clenched. That's ridiculous. I know. What did Olivia say? She defended you. That's something. Sarah sighed. But Marcus kept pushing. Pushing what? That you would always choose work over her. I muttered, unbelievable. Sarah continued quietly. That's when things started changing. I stared at her. You mean the first time they slept together? She nodded slowly. Yes. I felt anger rising again. But you said that's not the worst part, I reminded her. Sarah hesitated. Right. What else? She looked straight at me. Marcus told people the baby was his. My stomach dropped. What? Months before you came home. You're serious? Yes. I shook my head. No way. I heard him say it at a party. To who? His friends. What exactly did he say? Sarah repeated quietly. He said, Ethan doesn't know it yet, but that baby is mine. My chest burned. He said that. Yes. And Olivia knew? I'm not sure. I rubbed my forehead. So he was already claiming the child. Pretty much. Why would he do that? Sarah gave a sad smile. Because he always envied you. I looked up sharply. Envied me? You never noticed? No. He talked about you constantly. About what? Your career. Your house. Your relationship. I laughed bitterly. So he wanted my life. That's how it felt. I sat there silently. Sarah continued softly. Marcus once said something strange. What? She hesitated. He said, Ethan always gets everything first. I felt my jaw tighten. And this was his way of taking something. Sarah nodded. I think so. I whispered, that's sick. I agree. Why didn't you tell me earlier? She looked guilty. I was scared. Of Marcus. Of destroying my sister's life. I sighed. That already happened. She nodded slowly. Yes. We sat quietly for a moment. Then Sarah said, there's one more thing. I looked at her. What? Marcus didn't act surprised when the DNA test came back. Of course not. No, she said carefully. I mean, he looked relieved. I frowned. Relieved? Yes. Why would he be relieved? Sarah shrugged. Maybe because the truth finally matched his plan. Those words settled heavily in my mind. I stared at my coffee. Then I said quietly, Marcus was never my friend. Sarah nodded. I'm sorry. I exhaled slowly. For months, I thought the betrayal was random. A mistake. But now it felt different. Calculated. Planned. I looked at Sarah. Thank you for telling me. She asked softly, are you angry? I thought about it. Then I answered honestly. Yes. But it's a different kind of anger now. She tilted her head. How? I leaned back in my chair. Now, I finally understand who Marcus really is. Life didn't fix itself overnight. But slowly, things began to change. One afternoon, my phone rang while I was leaving the gym. Daniel's name flashed on the screen. I answered. What's up? He sounded amused. You heard about Marcus? No. What happened? Daniel chuckled. He lost his job. I stopped walking. Seriously? Yep. Ow. Some financial mess at his company. Was he involved? Apparently. I leaned against my car. That's unexpected, Daniel replied. Karma works quietly sometimes. I sighed. I'm not celebrating. Maybe not, Daniel said, but the universe definitely noticed. I ended the call a few minutes later. For a moment, I just stood there thinking. Then my phone rang again. This time it was Captain Hayes. I answered immediately. Sir. His voice sounded proud. Walker, I've got good news. Good news. Your promotion request went through. I blinked. Wait, seriously? Yes. What rank? Team leader. I laughed quietly. That's incredible. You earned it, Hayes said. I appreciate it. He paused. How are things outside of work? Better. That's good. I'm focusing on moving forward. That's exactly what I hoped to hear. We talked for a few minutes. Before hanging up, he said, Remember something, Walker? What's that? Success is the best answer to betrayal. I smiled slightly. I'll remember that. That evening I met Lily for coffee. She waved when I entered the cafe. Hey, soldier. Hey, nurse. She laughed. You look happier today. I got promoted. Her eyes lit up. That's amazing. Thanks. She leaned forward. I knew things would turn around. Slowly. Slow progress is still progress. I studied her for a moment. You're very optimistic. She smiled. I work in a hospital. I see people fight for life every day. That must be intense. It is. Does it ever make you lose faith in people? She shook her head. No. Why not? Because for every bad story, there's a good one. I looked down at my coffee. My story didn't feel very good. Not at the start, she said. But stories keep going. I hesitated. Lily, can I ask you something? Of course. Why do you keep spending time with me? She tilted her head. Is that a trick question? No. She shrugged gently. Because you're honest. That's a low standard. Not really. She smiled again. And because you're trying. Trying what? To heal. I nodded slowly. I'm still afraid. Of what? Trust. That makes sense. What if it happens again? She answered calmly. Then you survive again. Her confidence surprised me. You make it sound simple. It's not simple, she said. But it's possible. We talked for another hour. For the first time in a long time, I felt comfortable. Later that night, I returned to my apartment. I had just taken off my jacket when someone knocked on the door. I frowned. It was late. I opened it. Olivia stood there. She held the baby in her arms. Her eyes were red. Ethan, she whispered. I froze. What are you doing here? She looked exhausted. Please, can we talk? I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. What happened? She started crying. Marcus left. I stared at her. He what? He moved out 2 weeks ago. Why? He lost his job. I heard. Olivia nodded. After that, everything fell apart. I crossed my arms. So you came here? She wiped her face. I didn't know where else to go. Your parents. They're angry with me. Your sister. She said I should face my mistakes. I looked at the baby. Emily slept quietly. Olivia spoke again. Marcus said he couldn't handle the responsibility. That sounds like him. He packed his things and disappeared. I stayed silent. Olivia stepped closer. I'm sorry, Ethan. You've said that before. I mean it. Maybe. She looked desperate. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I asked quietly, and now? She swallowed. Now I need help. With what? With Emily. My chest tightened. Olivia whispered. I know she's not yours. Correct. But you loved her when you first held her. That was before I knew the truth. Her voice broke. Please don't punish her for my mistakes. I'm not. Then help us. I stared at her. What exactly are you asking? She took a deep breath. Could you help raise her? The question hung in the air. I felt my heart pounding. Olivia continued quickly. You'd be the best father she could have. I shook my head slowly. You're serious? Yes. After everything that happened. I'm begging you. I looked at her tired face. Then I looked at the baby. For a moment, memories rushed through my mind. The day I came home, holding Emily for the first time, believing she was my daughter. Olivia whispered again. Please, Ethan. My voice came out quiet. You're asking a lot. I know. More than you understand. She nodded. But you're the only person I trust. I almost laughed at that. Trust is a strange word coming from you. She lowered her eyes. I deserve that. I took a slow breath. Everything felt complicated again. But this time, I wasn't the same man who walked away months ago. I was stronger, and I knew the answer would change everything. Olivia stood in front of me, holding the baby tightly. The hallway felt quiet and heavy. She whispered again, Please, Ethan. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I said softly, We need to talk. She nodded quickly. Okay. I pointed toward the stairs outside my apartment. Let's sit. We walked down and sat on the concrete steps. Emily stirred slightly in Olivia's arms. Olivia rocked her gently. Thank you for listening, she said. I didn't promise anything, I replied. I know. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I asked quietly, do you love Marcus? Her answer came immediately. No. Did you ever? She shook her head. It was confusion, not love. I studied her face. You were ready to build a life with him. No, she said quickly. He pushed that idea. That sounds convenient. It's the truth. I sighed. Olivia, none of this changes what happened. I know. You broke my trust. Her voice trembled. I regret it every day. That doesn't erase it. She wiped her eyes. I understand. I looked at the baby. Emily's tiny hand moved slightly. Olivia noticed my gaze. She's innocent, she whispered. I know. She deserves stability. She does. That's why I came to you. I turned back to Olivia. You're asking me to raise another man's child. I'm asking you to help. You're asking me to rebuild a life that already collapsed. She looked down. I don't know what else to do. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on my knees. When I first came home, I said slowly, I imagined something simple. Olivia listened silently. I thought we'd raise our child together. Tears rolled down her face. I remember those dreams. They died that night. I know. I took a deep breath. For months, I hated both of you. She whispered, you had every right. Then something changed. What? I stopped thinking about revenge. She looked surprised. Really? Yes. Why? Because revenge wouldn't give me peace. She nodded slowly. So what will? Honesty. Olivia looked confused. What does that mean? It means I need to tell you the truth. I'm listening. My voice stayed calm. I can't be part of your life anymore. Her eyes filled with fresh tears. Ethan, I wish things were different. Please reconsider. I already have. She shook her head desperately. You'd be such a good father to her. Maybe, I admitted. But she deserves a father who doesn't carry resentment. Olivia whispered. You wouldn't resent her. I might, I said honestly. And that wouldn't be fair. She stared at the ground. I ruined everything. You made choices. I wish I could undo them. So do I. The night air felt cooler now. Olivia finally asked, so this is goodbye? I nodded slowly. Yes. Her voice cracked. After everything we shared, those memories still exist. Then why leave? Because memories aren't enough to build a future. She closed her eyes. I understand. Emily started making soft sounds. Olivia gently rocked her again. Will you ever forgive me? She asked. I thought about the question carefully. Then I answered. Maybe someday. That's something. But forgiveness doesn't mean returning. She nodded. I know. I stood up. Olivia looked up at me. Where will you go now? Forward. She gave a weak smile. You always were stubborn. Sometimes that helps. She slowly stood as well. Thank you for at least hearing me out. You deserve that. She held Emily closer. I hope you find happiness. I'm starting to. She hesitated. With Lily. I blinked. You know about her? Sarah mentioned it. I smiled slightly. She's a good person. I'm glad. Olivia looked at me one last time. I truly loved you, Ethan. I believe you, even if I destroyed it. Yes. She turned slowly and began walking away. After a few steps, she stopped. Take care of yourself, she said quietly. You too. Then she disappeared down the street. I stood there for a moment. My chest felt lighter than I expected. Not empty, just peaceful. I went back inside my apartment. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. It was Lily. Her message read, Coffee tomorrow? I smiled. I called her instead. She answered quickly. Hey, Ethan. Hi. You sound different. How so? Calmer. I just closed an old chapter. That's a big step. Yeah. She asked gently. Are you okay? I think I finally am. That makes me happy. Are you free tonight? For coffee? Yeah. She laughed softly. I can make time. Good. Same cafe. Perfect. Before hanging up, she said something that stayed with me. Sometimes losing the wrong people makes space for the right ones. I looked out my apartment window. For the first time in a long time, the future didn't feel heavy. It felt open. And this time, I was ready to walk into it.